Welcome back to the Movie Man. Today I will show you a 2013 horror action film, World War Z. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. A family of four is sitting inside their car playing fun games in traffic when suddenly a motorbike comes flying past them and knocks down their side mirror. The dad Jerry Lane goes outside to check and collect the broken side mirror from the ground. Further ahead, an explosion happens, causing the people around to panic and start running away. As soon as Jerry gets back into his car, a garbage truck smashes into the cars, wiping them off the road. Jerry quickly takes this chance and follows the truck from behind using the newly cleared path. Unfortunately, his car is hit by an ambulance and thrown to the side. Luckily, all of them are unharmed. By this time, the entire city is in complete chaos with panicked people running in every direction trying to escape. He quickly pulls his kids out of the car and they run toward an abandoned minivan. A seemingly possessed girl jumps on top of the van and starts hitting her head continuously on the windscreen. It cracks open and she jumps inside and attacks the driver, biting him violently all over the body. He begins to uncontrollably shake and in only 10 seconds his eyes and face turn. Jerry and his family finally arrive and enter the minivan as more and more people turn and attack others. They drive off on the busy road as a multitude of people run after the car trying to escape. Luckily, they all manage to escape unharmed from the chaotic city. The government had failed to contain the disease and the city had fallen. They pull over to the side of the road as Jerry was being contacted by Thierry Amutoni, a former UN colleague of the Secretary General who needed his help. They make their way to New Jersey where a helicopter was supposed to come for them. He picks a handgun and they enter a supermarket to get more supplies. He goes straight to the now abandoned pharmacy to get medicine as one of his daughters is asthmatic. Suddenly he hears the other daughter screaming for help. Jerry runs and finds his wife on the ground fighting off two men as they try to remove her clothes. He jumps in, shooting one of them, and the other one runs away. They run outside and when they look around there was no way they could stay there. They had to get out of the streets to a rooftop where the helicopter could easily see them. As they are running down an alleyway, it explodes and zombies come charging toward them from the other direction. They divert and enter a building where Jerry locks the door using a hose pipe, trying to keep them out. Unfortunately, the zombies break through the door and go after them. The family climb the stairs as fast as possible, running for their dear life as the zombies follow closely behind. Gary pushes a fridge down the stairs and it crushes a zombie and temporarily blocked the path. They take this chance to escape. Gary tries to break a door to use at his shelter but he was unable. Luckily, they find a frightened family who let them in and quickly lock and block the door behind them to keep out the zombies. Jerry goes straight to the radio to hear any broadcast from the government. It turns out it was a full zombie apocalypse that infected anybody bit by an infected person. The next morning, Gary tries to convince his host family to come with them as they would have a better chance of survival, but they reject the offer and opt to stay behind. He makes a weapon with a knife and covers his arms with a book for extra protection before leaving. They walked carefully along the corridors as they tried to make their way to the rooftop. Unfortunately, as the family is trying to lock the door, they hear a knock. Jerry scans the stairway to check, but suddenly a zombie jumps out of nowhere and he shoots it. The noise alerts the other zombie and they begin to chase after them. When they caught up, Jerry jumps in between and fights them, trying to protect his family. Unfortunately, more arrive and one managed to knock him to the ground and tries to bite him. A kid from the family that gave them refuge shoots at saving Jerry. The helicopter soon spots them and flies down to pick them up. Jerry hears more zombies approaching from the staircase, so he closes and pushes against the door to give his family a chance to escape. Once they are inside, he lets it go and runs toward the helicopter as zombies chase after him. He narrowly manages to enter and they fly away, leaving the zombies jumping from the roof as they try to reach him. They are taken to a USA command ship in the middle of the ocean where Thierry was waiting for them. After being allocated their beds, Jerry is called to the side. The disease had spread to every corner of the planet, hence they are desperate to find a cure. A team of neurologists led by Dr. Fastbach debates and tries to figure out the possible cause and cure for this infection. Jerry is confronted by a general and told the real reason why they rescued him. They needed his expertise as he was one of the best investigators under Thierry back at the UN. He tried to decline the offer, but when they threatened to kick his family off the ship, he had no choice but to agree. Gary says goodbye to his family before flying off to South Korea where they believed patient zero was. He was also accompanied by Fastbach, who was an expert in all things disease. They finally arrive in South Korea and the plane lands. As they disembark from the plane, zombies jumped from the darkness, scaring Fastbach. He tries to run back into the plane but slips and shoots himself in the head and he dies. A SEAL team on the ground comes to their rescue. They protect and guide them to their facilities. Once inside, he is taken directly to a room full of burned bodies. When he looks closely, one of the dead body's fingers is still moving. He sees a man behind bars who told him something very interesting, that Israel was not affected as they sealed off the entire country days before the zombies attacked, which means they were the first ones to know, hence the first to react, so Jerry had to go to Israel. The zombies are drawn to sound, so they were given bicycles as running would make too much noise. The Navy SEALs take their positions on the rooftop ready to give them cover as they ride their bikes in the rain toward the plane. On the other side, Jerry's wife takes out her phone as she misses her husband. Jerry's phone begins to ring and the noise alerts the zombies. They ride the bike as fast as possible as the zombies chase after them. Jerry gets knocked to the floor, but he is saved by the captain. Unfortunately, the captain gets bit by a zombie on the leg. Jerry could only watch the captain as he understood what was next. Like and subscribe may look simple for you, but for us, it's very valuable. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon for the latest notifications. Thank you for your support. He puts a gun to his head and ends it before he turns. Jerry runs and locks himself in the cockpit and they take off. They arrive in Jerusalem, Israel. After the plane lands, the pilot stays behind while Jerry is picked by the military and taken directly to a high-ranking official called Jurgen Wormbrunn. Jerry had one big question. How did they know? The Israeli government had intercepted a communication from the Indian military claiming to fight the undead, so they took the necessary measures in case it was true, which it turned out to be. He takes him to the wall where the military is patrolling from all corners. Some soldiers are on helicopters and others are on the ground, making sure that none of the millions of zombies outside the wall manage to get in. At the same time, they were letting in survivors behind the fortified walls of Israel. One of the refugees takes a microphone and they form a circle and start to sing. The loud noise travels across the wall and the zombies are alerted by it. They run towards the wall and start climbing it. The people inside get louder and louder and the zombies start to climb on each other, trying to get over the wall. Eventually, the zombies climb high enough to jump inside and they fall to the ground. The soldiers in the helicopter tries to shoot them, but it was too late. Hordes of zombies are already inside, attacking everyone on their path. Jerry and some Israeli soldiers try to run away, but they are cornered. They divert and enter a building, narrowly escaping a stampede from the zombies. They run downstairs and manage to close a gate, locking the zombies outside. Jerry notices something strange. There was a young boy who seemed invisible to them. The zombies just ran past the boy without paying any mind to him. The zombies break through the door but are quickly blown up by a grenade. For a moment, it went quiet and still, but a zombie jumps and bites a soldier's arm. Jerry is quick to react as he takes a knife and cuts her hand, preventing further infection, and the soldier does not turn. They quickly bandage the bleeding arm and run outside to the helicopter. Unfortunately, zombies jump and hang onto it, causing the helicopter to lose control and fall to the ground, blowing up. When it was announced that Israel had fallen, the pilot with whom Jerry came with starts the plane engine and flies away, leaving him behind. They run in front of a plane and force it to stop. The pilots drop a ladder and the two climb on board. They find a seat amongst the panicked passengers as the plane runs on the runway and takes off. Jerry takes a first aid kit and sanitizer and replaces the bandage on her arm to prevent infection. Suddenly Jerry remembers something strange. There was a group of people who seemed invisible to the zombies. He takes out his phone and immediately contacts Thierry requesting directions to the nearest medical research facility. He then informs the pilots of their new destination. Everything seems to be very normal, but when a cabin crew opens a closet, a zombie attacks her. Jerry hears some commotion from the next cabin and goes to investigate. When he opens the blinds, he could not believe it. It was a complete bloodbath as everyone was turning and attacking the next person. They quietly take their luggage and stack them up to block the entry path to their cabin, but unfortunately, one of the bags fell over and the zombies turned their attention to them. All hell broke loose as the zombies are relentless and unstoppable. Jerry takes a hand grenade, and when he looks around, there is no other way. He throws it, blowing up the side of the plane, and the zombies are sucked out. In the process, one of the plane engines blows up and the plane loses control. Jerry quickly straps in before he is sucked out as the plane free falls and crashes into the ground. He opens his eyes and he miraculously survived. He had an object launched into his body, making him bleed a lot. He tried to remove it, but he could not. He opens his safety belt and he falls to the ground. Somehow the female soldier had also made it. The two walk slowly down the street trying to find help as both had fatal injuries. Luckily they come across a WHO research facility and ring the gate bell outside, hoping someone could see them and let them inside. On the other side, after losing contact with Jerry, they assume he was gone and immediately evacuate his family from the ship as they were no longer a part of the essential people. When Jerry regains consciousness, his wound had been treated but he was tied up. After verifying his identity, he is released and he presents his theory on how they could stop the spread. He argues that the virus needs a healthy host, hence why they seem to avoid some people, and maybe these people had terminal diseases making them useless hosts. As this was only a theory, they had to test it to prove if it was correct. So he requests for a deadly pathogen with a high mortality rate but curable so that they can perform some tests. This made a lot of sense, but there was only one problem. The storage unit where the pathogens are kept was crawling with zombies. They prepare themselves and head out as humanity's last hope for survival. They walk slowly and carefully down the corridors, trying their best to make the least amount of noise possible. They come across a group of zombies, but they crawl past them without being seen or heard. When trying to open a door, it makes noise and the zombies become alert, but none of them attack. Unfortunately, one zombie sees them and makes noise, and properly alerts all the others, and a chase begins. They diverge and Jerry bangs on the guardrails to attract all the zombies and give the other a chance to escape. This works as all the zombies chase after him. He runs past a door, locking them outside, and bashes the head of the one that managed to follow him using a crowbar. The other two come across more zombies than they could handle. They run back to safety and lock several zombies behind them. Jerry is left alone on that side as their only hope. He walks slowly and carefully, trying to avoid any encounters until he comes across the vault. He opens the door, goes inside, and starts to collect the different bottles as he had no idea which was the correct one. Unfortunately, a zombie comes and stands in front of the door, blocking the only exit. After a while, Jerry makes a decision. He opens the box and takes out a syringe. He then randomly picks a vial, looks at the camera one last time, and injects himself with it. He waits for several minutes, walks up to the door and voluntarily opens it. The zombie goes inside and comes face to face with Jerry but does not attack him. He comfortably walks around it and locks it inside. His theory was correct and his plans had worked. Jerry now becomes invisible to them. He walks right up to several zombies and they just run past him as he takes the pathogens with him. Vaccines are made and distributed all over the world, turning all those who use them invisible to zombies and giving them a chance to escape to better places. The survivors go to war with the zombies, some burning them and others blowing them to pieces. The world had lost a significant chunk of its population, but hope was brought back by Jerry. That was all of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.